You know, if you study people who are at the top of something, you'll recognize that motivation was maybe 1% of the formula, maybe 1%. And I'm going to prove it to you. Just before getting into the heart of the matter, think about growing the wolf pack, because we are always hungry and want more here. I won't draw you a picture. You already know what you need to do to help YouTubers. Let's get started. If you want to become a world-class bodybuilder, let's say an IFBB professional, you have to train twice a day, 6 days a week. You have to eat 8 meals a day. Your calorie intake is regulated. Your meals are planned and prepared in advance. You don't eat based on taste, but based on the nutritional role of the food. So my coach, for example, eats, and I ask him, "What do you eat?" And here's what he eats the most. He'll take boiled chicken without salt and eat half a kilo. And what do? He says, "I take protein." He doesn't say, "I eat." He says, "I take protein." For him, it's functional, not a matter of taste. Then you'll probably have to train for a minimum, unless you're a genetic phenomenon. You'll have to train for at least 10 years before you can step on stage and compete at an average level with an average world-class bodybuilder. An average. Okay, so why am I saying all this? Why am I telling you this? We all here at the beginning of a new year write these things called New Year's resolutions. And then you know your New Year's resolution is number 1, make more money. Yeah. Number 2, change girlfriend. Number 3, get in shape. Yeah. I must physically look like Andrew Tate. So what do? You go to the gym, you get a gym membership. Yeah. You go to the local Nike store and you buy all your gym equipment. You're motivated, you're inspired, you go to the gym, you go on YouTube, you subscribe to all the fitness channels. You go on Instagram, you follow all the fitness models. You're motivated, you go to the gym. Yes, you're going to get in shape. That's what you're going to do. The people you follow on YouTube have worked for at least 5 years to look like that. So you have the impression that after a month of training, you're going to look like them. So what happens in the first month? You're excited, you go to the gym every day, and you have pains and your body hurts. But you know, I'm excited, I'm going to the gym. Then life happens. The business isn't making money. You're not meeting your goals. You get a little sick. Something happens. And suddenly you stop going to the gym for 1 day. 1 day becomes 2, 2 becomes a week, and suddenly you've had a gym membership for 3 months, and you haven't gone in that time. What did you lack? You thought motivation was the formula? Winners don't need motivation. Winners need discipline. Discipline is doing what needs to be done, because it needs to be done, not because I feel like it, not because I'm motivated to do it. Do you think Nelson Mandela was motivated to spend 27 years in prison? Do you think Martin Luther King was motivated to march across the United States and proclaim freedom? Do you believe? You know, if you look at the people who change the world, they don't do it because they're motivated. They do it because they have committed to doing it, and they are disciplined to follow through. Discipline is much more important than motivation, which is why you must be careful about the decisions you make, because once you make a decision, you must follow through with it. As my mentor says, first we make our decisions, and then our decisions make us. So you must be very careful about the decisions you make and the commitments you take on. Motivation, I'm telling you now, is completely overrated. It's important. Don't get me wrong. You know, we gather based on motivation, we feel good, but it will fade. It takes a stronger will and a deeper commitment to go all the way. One of my key phrases for the day is discipline creates miracles. Discipline creates miracles. And here's the first element that creates miracles. Number 1, do what you can. Don't let negligence clutch you by the throat. Don't let negligence block your path to prosperity and health. Being able to become powerful, influential, rich beyond wildest imagination. Don't neglect what you can do. If you can read, read. If you can change, change. If you can grow, grow. And if you can take a step, take a step. But don't neglect to do what you can do right now. Of course, you can't run a multi-billion-dollar business today. Mark couldn't do it 10 years ago either. Mark couldn't do it 5 years ago either. But let me tell you, today he can do it because step by step, year after year, he took what he could do. He did not neglect it. He attended the meetings he could attend. He made the calls he could make. He read the books he could read. He took the courses he could take, and step by step, he prepared himself. I'm telling you, do not neglect to do everything you can do because it will work miracles. First in personal development and then in productivity. Now do what you can. Here's number 2. Do the best you can. If it's a foggy night and you can only see 30 meters, how can you see 30 more meters? Answer. Walk the first 30 meters. Walk as far as you can see, and then you can see a little further. And walk as far as you can see, and you can see even more. So what you've learned here, do it as far as you can see. And I promise you, if you execute as far as you can see, you will be able to see more. Do that, and you will be able to see more. Finally, get in tune to do your best, and you will have the activities that develop the disciplines that will establish that sail so that you can say, no matter which way the wind blows, I am prepared. For some people, discipline is kind of a dirty word. Don't talk to me about discipline. But what you must understand is that discipline is an incredibly creative force. Discipline builds a career, discipline develops good health, discipline shapes the most incredible of marriages. Discipline creates a friendship that will never end. Discipline develops skills that can be magnified and touch the world. Discipline paves the way to music. You cannot have incredible music without discipline. In fact, we call them disciplines. We call architecture and music a discipline. We call playing an instrument a discipline. We call sculpture, painting, writing, composition a discipline. And the disciplines give us the indication that, yes, we can only achieve them through discipline. But it also means that discipline is the open door to the creative process of transforming nothing into something and turning imagination into reality. So, here's what you need to learn to appreciate the disciplines and welcome them. Here's a good question to ask yourself. What other discipline could I take on that would open up a whole new expression in my life to transform my imagination into reality? Without discipline, there is no business. Without discipline, there is no magnificent structure. Without discipline, there is no music. Without discipline, there is no health. There is no more, there is no future. Discipline is therefore essential when it comes to imagination, to have something real, to believe in it, and to transform it into reality. The key to development is to be all that you can be. I don't know what your talents and skills are, but here's what I'm probably right about. You are late in making an accelerated effort towards your full development. That's what I suggest. Now, for some of you, I know that may not be true. But even if I look at my own life, because I'm tempted to procrastinate like everyone else, I should have written 30 books by now. I've only written 4 or 5. I should have done a lot of things, but I didn't. I got distracted, and each of us has these challenges. But what could I become? What could I become? I had one of my dearest friends. I lost him. He died at the age of 53. One day he drank a little too much. David drank a little too much, but he did all sorts of things. He was a builder and a dreamer, and he accomplished a lot. But his drinking kept him in a fog for years and years. About 6 years ago, he was sitting at the yacht club, and he was in a fog. And suddenly he said, I wonder what I could have accomplished during all those years if I hadn't been in this fog. And he said it worked. And the last 6 years before he died, he was free, and he accomplished incredible things in just 6 years. Be all that you can be. And don't let habits drag you down. Don't let things distract you from the full development of what you have the ability to be. Everything your heart could encompass if you had a real chance, if you had discipline, and if you really got after it. What could you really become? What could you achieve? What kind of health could you really have? How many books could you write? How many poems could you write? So here's what I'm asking you. If you feel like you're a bit stuck or wherever you are in your progress, I'm asking you to correct that. I'm asking you to see if you couldn't be on a faster track to your possibilities and your full development. Here's the purpose of life, to become all that we can be. The full development of all your potential, that's number 1, number 2, and the judicious use of all your resources. That's the purpose of life. Discipline. If there's one magic word that stands out above all the others, it's discipline. Discipline is the bridge between thought and accomplishment, the bridge between inspiration and valuable achievement, the bridge between necessity and productivity. Remember, all good things are upstream. Time drifts us away, and drifting only brings negative, disastrous, disappointing, and failing results. Failure is not a cataclysmic event. It is generally not the result of a major incident, but rather a long list of accumulated minor failures. Failing in life is not thinking today, not acting today, not caring, not striving to rise, not reading a book, continuing to try day after day. If your goal requires you to write 10 letters today, and you only wrote 3, you have lost 7 letters. If you plan to make 5 calls and you only make 1, you have lost 4 calls. If your plan involves saving $10 today and you save none, you have lost $10 today. The danger is to look at a day without discipline and conclude that there was no great harm. This may not seem like such a bad day, but adding up the days to make a year, then adding up the years to make a lifetime. And now perhaps you can see how the repetition of small failures today can easily turn your life into a major disaster. Success, on the other hand, is just the reverse process. If you plan to make 10 calls and you end the day making 15 calls, you now have 5 more calls. If you then gain a few letters, if you increase your savings numbers, you can see what a huge difference it can make in a year and what a wealth accomplishment awaits you for an entire lifetime. Discipline is like a magic key that unlocks all the doors to wealth, happiness, sophistication, culture, self-esteem, pride, joy, fulfillment, satisfaction, and success. The first key to discipline is the awareness of the need and value of discipline, and particularly the discipline to make changes. What do I need to do? What do I need to become to get everything I want from my life? The second key is willpower, and more than that, the ardor to deliberately, wisely, and consistently maintain your new discipline. And the third key to discipline is the commitment to mastering the circumstances of your everyday life, to seeing and seizing opportunities, to making something of both sun and rain, of the good as well as those that come disguised as misfortune. Discipline does many things, and the most important of all is what it does for you. It allows you to feel better about yourself. Even the smallest discipline can have an incredible effect on your attitude. And the feeling of well-being you experience, that sense of self-esteem that comes from beginning a new discipline, is almost as good as the feeling that comes from completing the discipline. Secondly, a new discipline immediately changes the direction of your life. You do not change destination immediately, that is still to come, but you can change direction immediately, and direction is very important. Thirdly, discipline cooperates with nature and all its forces. It is a common function of life. What is the height of a tree? As high as it can grow, everything strives to become what it can be. And this effort to become is the purpose of discipline, to discipline ourselves to realize our natural potential and become all that we can be. Finally, discipline attracts opportunities. Opportunities are always in search of ambition and skills in action. Discipline harnesses the unlimited power of commitment. Human will in action, driven by inspiration, drawn by desire, tempered by reason, guided by intelligence, can bring you to that elevated and noble place called the beautiful life. So start the new process. You can start a new habit, even if it is small. The size of the habit does not matter. What matters is whether you start and whether you continue. Therefore, to lead a prosperous life, start a plan for prosperity. To become rich, start a plan for wealth. Remember that you do not need to be rich to have a plan for wealth. A person without means can have a plan for wealth. If you are sick, start a plan for health. If you lack energy, start a plan for energy. If you do not feel well, start a plan for well-being. If you are not intelligent, start a plan for intelligence. If you cannot start a plan with I can. If you do not have one, start a plan with having. Everyone can do it. Even a bad person can start listening to good messages and reading good books. Recognize that the beginning of a better, a happy, a rich life, it's today. The process is exciting and the results can start today. Begin your new journey today. If a new idea comes to mind, start putting that idea into practice today. Make today the start of a long, fulfilling, and exciting journey towards your new life. Buy your first book for your new library today and start setting goals today. Begin today by clearing out a drawer in your new tidy desk. Start eating an apple a day as part of your new health program. Put money into your new investment account today for your fortune. Start reading with intensity for your new wealth plan of the mind today. Write a delayed letter or make a deferred phone call. Today. Take your camera and take a picture of something to start your new treasure of photographs today. Give momentum to your new commitment to a better life. See how much activity you can accumulate on this first day. Go deep. Break away from the negative pull of gravity. Engage the propellers. Prove to yourself that the waiting is over, hope is gone, and faith and action have now taken over. It is a new day, a new beginning for your new life. And with discipline, you won't believe the list of positive movements you can make on the first day of your new start. Thank you for joining us on this journey towards financial freedom. By subscribing to our channel, you'll gain access to expert advice and strategies for managing money. building wealth, and achieving your financial goals. Plus, you'll be part of a community of like-minded individuals who are all working towards a brighter financial future. So what are you waiting for? Hit that subscribe button and start your journey towards financial success today.